very pleasing office, isn't it? Someone that got us yeah. Absolutely, and we do it all around. And the Q2 meetup because I think they wanted it to happen in July, was more convenient for them, but we begged and pleaded and they listened to us, and everything is sort of like has worked out. So please give it up for them again. Alright, so today, the theme is innovation, how and why, and in between that, we're going to have IBM talk to us about technology and HR and analytics, which is very important for us, and we all shape our profession, because again, at the end of the day, we all work in different organizations. We want to ensure that we're collectively shaping the HR profession in Nigeria, and that more of us who also get the word out there and can connect. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, what's required of us as HR is one thing, right? Support our businesses, ensure people are engaged. It's the same mission, or will I say vision, across all organizations. For an HR person, whatever it is you're expected to do in your organization, probably similar, if not even, Today I've seen on LinkedIn before. The name sounds familiar. We do that. Like, that name is kind of sounds familiar. From where to where, to tell you what, how many people are, we can't know. I have to get approval from my boss, kind of thing. And we know we're the ones we hide all the information. Like, sometimes you're not going to do anything for us when we give it out. But I think also collectively, because then what happens, you go back to your organization, you're a top performer, right? Oh, you got this information really quickly. And we can analyze and get things done and get business moving, right? So kudos to all of us who make it happen. Thank you again. So we're just going to hand it over to Maya. Maya, I don't know how to introduce Maya. Maya is the HR lead of say why I can't keep up with me.
So Central West Africa.
There we go.
And just recently East Africa.
So the entire Africa now. Okay, except Southern Africa.
And Northern Africa.
And Northern Africa. East, West, Central, Sub-Saharan.
So we thought it would be interesting and necessary to introduce IBM, because we've heard a lot of people say you guys do typewriters, or I have people telling me that, oh Maya, I want a computer. I'm like, what? We sold that to Lenovo almost like 20 years ago. We don't know any of those. So I think it's very important. Since you're in our house, you should know about us.
So we say restlessly reinventing, since 1911. IBM is 105 years old. We're a proud 105-year-old company. We're very happy that rests to whatever innovation that is out there. So IBM, our head office is in Amont, New York, Westchester County. Very, very beautiful place. Expensive also, because you have PepsiCo. PepsiCo is there also, so you can imagine kind of houses there. We have 380,000 IBMers in over 170 countries worldwide. And in 2016, our revenue was $79.6 billion. And we invest every year, billions of dollars every year. We buy companies also to help us reinvest. So what we do now, when anybody will describe what is IBM, we'll tell you we're a cloud and cognitive solutions company. That's what we do. You already know what cloud is, right? Yes. So, and cognitive solutions, the thinking computer, computers that can learn themselves, computers that can apply knowledge, computers that can understand human language, and that's what we're focused on currently. That and that and that, I've said all that. We are in all the industries, all major industries, oil and gas, banking, health, and all that. Watson? Who has heard of IBM Watson? So IBM Watson? So IBM Watson is, we call it our supercomputer. It was developed about 10 years ago? About 10 years ago. And Watson was a cognitive computer. And it's a computer that understands human language. And when they were testing it, they said, what would best showcase Watson's ability and what it can do? And they said Jeopardy. Who knows Jeopardy game? Jeopardy game. So I think you guys need to do some YouTube. So Jeopardy game is this game show in the US. It's running for years, almost 20, 25 years. And they ask questions, and the kind of questions they ask, very random human language questions, and you need to answer and reply with what is. So for instance, they say, this president was the 44th president of the United States, whatever, something like this, and you have to say, what is Barack Obama, something like that. And they said, Watson would be the best way to test the understanding of the human language. So same kind of questions we'll ask human beings. They put Watson there, and two Jeopardy champions. These are guys that have been winning Jeopardy, champions of the champions. against Watson. Watson won. He missed some questions, but you can always find the videos out on YouTube. So that's Watson. And Watson, when we developed that and see it worked, we now said, how can we apply Watson in other industries? It's in the health industry, helping cancer and oncology research. I think they applied it in Japan for older age. Watson is in cooking. We have Chef Watson, and can tell you, that you can put this kind of food compounds together and get a beautiful dish. The taste will be nice and all that. So it's amazing. You can go on YouTube and find out what Watson does. Yes, and cloud. That's where we're a leader in enterprise cloud. We acquired a company called SoftLayer, and SoftLayer had the biggest retail space in cloud. We acquired the company, so SoftLayer is an IBM company. We have data centers around the world, 51 big data centers, and we do billions of transactions. Who doesn't have WhatsApp on their phone? Everybody has WhatsApp. WhatsApp runs on IBM Cloud. So just to tell you the capacity of what we can do, what we've done. But for the software developers in the room, we have what we call Bluemix. Bluemix is a platform where you can develop. Just imagine a store where you can get all the ingredients you want to cook a soup. So that's what Bluemix is for the developers in the house. 97% of the world's largest banks use IBM products. We have the GTs of this, even in Nigeria, and we're talking worldwide now. In Nigeria, we have the GTs of the world, Diamond Bank, I can't stand naming. The few banks are not on IBM, that's why when you get on your internet, the ATM is always offline. So we have the world's travel reservation on IBM system. 90% of global credit card transactions are global retailers. We are huge. And you can express IBM through the IBM app. It's only in IBM, and I can say this anywhere in the world, that you hear someone say, I'm an IBM app. You don't see here people say, I'm a Microsofter, or a Googler, or you say, I'm an IBM app. Proudly IBM, I know the other IBMers in the room can feel it, and we have blue blood running through our veins. That's how we roll. And the beauty about IBM is, first of all, we have the most PhD, what do you call them, professors or people that have PhD researchers in the whole world, more than any university in the world. We have 5 Nobel laureates in IBM research. We have 9 US National Medals of Technology, 5 US Medal of Science, 6 Turing Awards, 10 inductees to the US Inventors Hall of Fame within IBM. For the 23rd year in the world, in the US, 23rd consecutive year in the US, we've won the most events, IPs, yes, intellectual IPs, exactly, in the world. Intellectual properties when it comes to technology. So we rule and we are here to stay. So I think we have what we call, in IBM, we've noticed that you don't even need a 4-year degree to make you who you are, what you are. And this is what HR, we have people, we call them new collar jobs. Not blue collar, not white collar. You don't need a 4-year degree as a computer science student. I've seen graduates from computer science. I study computer information systems. So I see graduates from computer science that after school, if you tell them, just write a simple C++ program, and they're looking at you. And we have people that have never been to universities, and we sit down and churn this out. So why should we let them be? We employ them at IBM. We have people, you have to just prove what you are. You have it there, you're intelligent, you're ready to learn. We bring you in. We have employees here that don't have degrees, even in Nigeria and around the world. So we call them blue collar jobs. And welcome to IBM. I'll go straight to what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say like, oh, okay, yes. So before she comes on, we're going to ask 2 questions, maybe 3. So what is they, who they are, what they do, yes? You know, raise your hand, surprise question. If you know the answer, what does IBM do? Cloud computing. So we should put it over. Wait, somebody answer it. So raise your hand, Roland.
Yes, cloud and cognitive organization.
The cloud and cognitive organization. Should we give it to him?
Yes.
That
Yeah, good.
phenomenal.
No, I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cloud. Best of mixed media. So we're going to get into some quizzes around BS because they've supplied us with all kinds of really cool, nice take-home gifts. So put it up, give it up for BS stuff. We'll get into this. We're going to share some of the things, so that's why I said let's just put it in there. Okay, so what percentage of the world's top banks use IBM? Female. 97%. You should have just Okay, so over to you, Mary.
So, how would you come to a company like IBM with all what I've bragged about, 5 Nobel laureates, this and this and this, and not talk about the future of HR, cognitive HR at IBM? We spoke about what cognitive computers are. These are computers that can process human language, that have human thought process. These are computers that can learn themselves. Gone are the days of garbage in and garbage out. Before, if you have to write, so I said I studied computer info, you have to hit start because you have to command the computer what to do. You go on Google, people like, is Google a cognitive system? Google search. It's not, because whatever you type, it brings you information on everything. But what a cognitive system will do is, when you ask it questions, it will look at the multiple data sources. It will connect the dots. It will help you think, and over the years, it then learns. And that's what we develop Watson. So I said, integrate multiple data sources, understands and makes sense of the information. It's intuitive to a scary level. And we'll actually show you a demo here to just see how crazy intuitive a learning computer is. And we call it the new brain. So how have we used this in IBM? And this is very important because when I and my colleagues started talking about this, when we knew we were hosting you guys, like, oh, what would be the interesting thing to show our colleagues coming to IBM? So you know what, let's just show them what IBM has done, cognition and in HR. But the scary, it's interesting and amazing, but the scary thing about it is you need to ask yourself, will my job be obsolete in the next few years? Will my job be obsolete? Because these things they're even better than human beings because they don't need to wake up the next morning to read their emails. They don't get tired, they've responded to you. So the first I'll talk about is Micah, my career advisor. Micah is an IBM system powered by Watson. I explained what Watson was. Powered by Watson, and what it does is it personalizes individual careers plans anywhere in the world, anytime, anywhere. They made it mobile responsive, so if you can go home, type on Michael, and I think I'm getting too old in my job. What do you think? I've been doing HR partner for 5 years, and I'm interested in project management, but I don't want to leave HR. So what kind of roles do you think I should do? And Michael would advise you. It knows about, because it's of course attached to the system already. It knows about your current job, your trainings, all your trainings on the system, the career path. So it fizzles and sieves out this information, and also what your passion is and what you've told it to do, and then advises you on the next step. Says, oh, if you say, okay, so instead if I tell Micah, I want to be, in the next 10 years, I want to be the senior vice president of HR for IBM. What do I need to do? So Micah is looking at, okay, what are years of experience? What level is she at right now? What kind of trainings has she gone through? What management training? What soft skill trainings? What specialized trainings? What kind of job roles have you done? And Michael then will advise otherwise. It understands the whole person. Unlike a manager, if I'm managing an employee or a career coach, I'm a career coach in IBM, and you come to me and say, oh, and an employee comes and say, oh, Maya, in HR, this was I did, I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of that. I would give an advice based on my limited knowledge. Unlike Micah, that is digging from every information, looking at all your past performance management, appraisals, if I can use that word, and also looking at things that we have what we call ACE in IBM. ACE is our feedback app. It's a web-based, mobile-based. So for instance, I think you need to improve on this. That's our feedback app. So Michael can look at all these things and then advise otherwise. So some of you are saying, oh, I'm a career coach, I want to do it. I will go. The system is doing this right now, so think about it. Moving on, we have CogniPay. So I'm not really going to, I'm just going to touch on this a little because this is still on, we are on the queue for IP for this. So hopefully this will come out very soon. It's a cognitive decision support system for compensation actions. And this was developed in our research lab in India with the combination of the data scientists, the research guys, and HR compensation. So what CogniPay does is that it helps managers make compensation decisions. Unlike a manager, for instance, have any of you been in a situation whereby your manager has promised you, Mayo, this time next year, you've done very well, you yes, I should send you, you are promoted to the next level, and there's nothing that will stop it. And come 2 months before the time, your manager moves to another organization. And you have a new manager. Or you want a new manager? Manager A promised that we'll be moving to girl. So to remove a lot of those subjectivity, that's where you have this. And a study was run, we ran a study in India, and what they did was that Cognipaid did the work, and they told managers to do it, and it was 79% accurate what the managers did in terms of the decision. I was actually like, okay, this thing does make sense. So what it does is that it recommends personalized action based on an integrated view of the performance, competitiveness, skills, your ultimate potential defined by the organization and all. So that's Cognipaid. 360 degree view, the user experience, and it's very easy to use, interesting interface, so the managers don't need to really crack or break their heads. It's machine learning, understands human language, and of course uses analytics. And this is one of my favorites. Her name is Queen. So Queen is our new cognitive onboarding specialist. When my colleague Aidebo saw this, she said, Yetunde, Queen is taking over your job. Queen is currently deployed in North America. What does Queen do? For onboarding, for guys that are just getting into IBM, or about to get in there, you have your offer letter, it then advises you, oh, how can I get, IBM is a very complex organization, in terms of we are large. You have to, there's a lot of processes to get in the system, to get this, to get that. You need help, but you need people to hold your hands in IBM. And I'm very sure for big organizations, it's also the same. What Queen will do, Queen will advise you. So everything an onboarding person is meant to do, Queen will do. So it answers HR-related questions, over 100 HR-related, understands natural language, questions of payroll, perks, discount, taxes, parking, canteen, food, fun, anything you can think about. Queen will answer that for you. So what we're just going to do, we're just going to do a short demo of Queen. So you see. So what we're going to the New to Blue website. New to Blue are for IBMers that have gotten an IBM offer but haven't yet joined. So maybe they got the offer, they have 2 months lag time, or they're in school, they just graduated and they're meant to start maybe in September. So we call them New to Blue. We don't call ourselves the Big Blue, so they're New to Blue. So this is New to Blue. If you in the right direction. Some answers I give you may require you to log in with your internet password. Please tell me your name. So, in case, can you tell me your name? So what it does is that this information is collecting, it will save it somewhere about you. Next time you call. Say, my name is Nikis. So Queen says, hello from the other side. Wait, I'm not Adele, I'm Queen. What can I help you with? Very witty also. I told you yesterday, men used to bring your humor to another level because Queen is even humorous. So, Nikki, do you want to ask Queen, where can you get learning resources in IBM? Where? So Nikki is Cameroonian, but she came to us from Germany, right? Yes. So Nikki speaks French and German, and she's new with us in IBM Nigeria. Resources in IBM. Where can I get the resources? He said, you'll find out that information and more by viewing or downloading the Think 40 handbook. Think 40 handbook is where all our learning resources all over the world. He said, just be sure, wait until you have started IBM to access the link, because you can only access the link if you're an IBMer. So say, is IBM a fun place to work? We talk about what's in there. So we're behaving like young, you don't know IBM, about to enter IBM, so let's ask those questions. Watson is like a father to me. He helps me learn how to best respond to you based on your input. Watson is a cognitive computer. Watson is similar to AI, artificial intelligence, but better. Was I able to help you? No. So this is Queen, this is the future of HR, onboarding specialists in the room, career advisors in the room. What other things? Who are the other ones? Admin guys, talent guys, compensation and benefits. Bumi, your job. My day, I asked myself that.
The only thing is the computer cannot hold my hand.
True. So I think the new start emphasizing that human resource guys. No, they said HR people are not human. So let's build that humanity. So they said, you know what? The computer can do all this, but you need someone to wipe the tears and say, hey, you've lost your job. The computer will do that job. But thank you so much. This is Cognitive in IBM. So someone like, can I get inside? So if you put this, it will actually ask you questions and advise you on what jobs you can apply to based off on your experience, skills, and everything. So it uses cognitive systems also. So any of you can just type this and you can play with it later. That's a recruitment. What? That's a recruitment. You're trying to teach us.
Thank you very much. This is fantastic. Two things, two very important announcements. The first, can the mic work? Thank you.
I've been in the for a while now. Alright, you know what exactly I'm talking about.
I'm going to explain for the sake of those that have
Never attended the meetup before. So the way we're seated, we're supposed to converse with the person that is sitting
directly opposite us. So you're supposed to try to find out the name of the person,
what the person does, you know, try to find out anything you want to know about the person. As usual, I have my list with me.
Ready for forensics, due diligence,
Yeah, it's really small.
yes, in Lagos. To be able to do, yes, to be able to do other things. So you're HR.
Like supporting the client, like I'm handling all HR related.
Like, you know, I get to get that a lot of insurance people, you know, when I have to, when something happens, I have to go through a lot of stress, you know, to get the money and everything.
This training institute. So they are coming to give us that in the month of July.
Nice, I will encourage you to.
Tomato paste and fruit juice. Yeah, I work as social advisor.
And how long have you been with them? How long have you been with them? Sorry? Before then, how about
Yeah,
before then?
before then I worked with the company.
It's attrition, I'm telling you. So, I just enrolled for that program. Where, which one is that?
Data analytics. It is active. It's one HR leverage program like that. Yeah, so I started my first class last Saturday.
Oh, really?
I'll send it to you.
Have you been to training?
Right, and now in between I'll put the two constructions.
I've always wanted
Stand here. Draw a circle round. Okay. Alright. So let me introduce us. My name is Monica Peace. Monica is currently the HR director of One House. Please. Thank you. The HR director at Guinness Nigeria, a Diageo company. And prior to that role, she was HR director in Mexico, Before then, HR Director Northern Europe, all within Diageo. And before then, HR Director Global Sales. She spent 16 years in Diageo. She's currently transitioning to become the Global HR Transformation Director, so she's leaving Nigeria soon. And we're pleased that she graced our presence. She's going to talk to us about innovation, how and why. I'd like us to also take notes, so that we can ask some engaging questions at the end of the session. Welcome, Winnie, Monica Page. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here this evening. And there's one or two faces I know. I think there's one or two that will keep me in check. So I am under strict instructions. I've got 10 minutes or 20 minutes to talk to you, and then 10 minutes Q&A. And I could talk about innovation for a very, very long time. Okay, but I'm going to try and do my best. So I'm going to go quite quickly, but we'll just take notes as Ngozi says, and then I'll answer any questions as I can as we get through. So, what are we going to cover off now in the next few sessions? First of all, who is Diageo? What is innovation? Yeah? How does innovation connect to strategy and give you a competitive advantage? That is quite easy, right? And then I want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about creating the culture of innovation. Okay? That is considerably more difficult. We all know that in HR around changing culture. So very quickly, who is Diageo? Anyone tell me? Apart from the people that used to work there or in my team? You make spirits, you're absolutely right. We're the #1 global spirits business in the world. Okay, we're still the #1, we're growing in our position as #1. You can see all the details there. Do visit our website at some time and see the sort of activities that we've got going on with our brands, with our people, causing difference in the world, right? And our purpose as an organization is celebrating life every day, everywhere, okay? That's not about alcohol, that's about life, okay? Making the most out of life, okay? So do visit our website. I actually got inspired when I was looking for some fresh pictures today, so have a look. So what is innovation? Any offers?
Something new.
Something new, correct. Well, what about that new? What is it?
Better.
Better, okay.
Reinvention.
Unique.
Reinvention.
Reinvention, it could be. Creativity. Okay. I have a very, very simple definition. It's an idea. Okay? That's not about alcohol. That's about life. Okay? Making the most out of life. Okay? So do visit our website. I actually got inspired when I was looking for some fresh pictures today. So have a look. So what is innovation? Any offers?
Something new.
Something new, correct. Well, what about that new? What is it?
Better.
Better, okay.
Reinvention.
Unique.
Reinvention.
Reinvention, it could be. Creativity. Okay. I have a very, very simple definition. It's an idea plus the magic called execution. You can sit at home in your sitting room having brilliant ideas, but they stay as an idea, right? They don't become an innovation until you execute it, right? That's what innovation is. But I've had experience, you heard, many years experience, right? But it has to be at the right time, yeah? Because you need something really important when you innovate. You need the consumer to want it, to realize they want it, to realize it's going to be better than what they had before. Then you start having success with innovation. Okay, is that really clear? So that's what we're talking about. How do you create a culture where people breed ideas, have the right environment to execute it, yeah, at the right time for the consumer, okay, whoever your consumer might be. So what is the role of innovation in your strategy? Okay, it can be a source of growth, right? Sometimes it's a cost in the short term. As you innovate, you research, but long term, it's a source of growth. Today, over 60% of Diageo's growth worldwide comes from innovation. In Nigeria, over 40% of our growth year-on-year comes from innovation. Who here drank Origin? Has anyone tried Origin? Yeah, yes, a few, yes. And then Origin Zero. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, that means zero alcohol, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So innovation is constant if your organization is going to move forward. In my industry, it looks like new drinks for consumers, right? In your industry, it might be new over-the-counter drugs. Yeah? It might be new drillings, etc., etc. Okay? But it's about keeping things moving forward. And one of my HR directors said to me once, Monica, if you don't move forward, you actually go backwards. Because the rest of the world will keep evolving and moving forward. So actually, we don't really have a choice. Yeah? None of us want to go backwards. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay. But for us, innovation strategy is creating new opportunities. Here it might be just new brands, new categories for us. Yeah? I don't know if anyone's seen this before. I'm not so well known. Seedlip. It is the first global non-alcoholic spirit. Really? Exactly. Go and Google it. It has no calories. It is distilled. It has no alcohol in it. Right? And it tastes amazing. Right? But that's the changing needs of the consumer. Right? They want taste without calories. Yeah? We might want taste without alcohol. Right? We can't just pretend, yeah, we only produce the spirit that has alcohol in it. It's redefining categories. It's making it accessible. Yeah? And it creates future. Who else has enjoyed Ciroc? Yeah, so you've probably had the original. Who's had pineapple? Or coconut? Or, right, they're renovation. You've got different variants. There's a lot of hands going here. I like that. This kind of party's going down later. Okay. So, innovation, really important, okay, for us as an organization. And look, some of you are enjoying these innovations, right? So hopefully the consumers enjoy it too, right? And helps you celebrate life. All right. But it also is a source of competitive advantage. So again, you can go on our website, and it's diageo.com, and you can read the reports on this. But it's always looking ahead. And I find in HR that if you listen to your consumer planners or your researchers, they help you imagine what the future is going to be like for people. And at the end of the day, in my game, if we're recruiting new consumers into our brands, it helps me to understand the new consumer. I am not a 24-year-old anymore, right? I do not know when I'm hiring them what they want or how to appeal to them or how to attract them. But if I listen to my consumer planners and listen to the trends there, they help me shape what the future generation and future employees are going to want in an organization. Right? So as I transition into my new role, I'm seriously looking at digital. What is digital? What is analytics going to mean? What is robotics going to do to HR? Okay? They're all things that are out there. They may not impact our work today, but we need one eye on the future and one eye on reality. Okay? So the change, I'm just going to put this up here because I think we'll all relate to it quite a lot. We have a team called Futures, a Futures team in Diageo, looking at, for example, how people socialize. Alcohol enhances social occasions, right? And that's what it's meant to do. So we're looking at how do people socialize, and that is changing dramatically. The first trend is exceptional becomes the rule. Okay? Here we're noticing that people used to do things, but they don't do it that way anymore. Who used to have a diary? Who used to have a diary? Probably all used to, right? Okay? Who has a diary today? Right. You have a diary. On your phone, right? Because it's not a paper one, exactly. But it's now your phone and everything else. It's your games and your book and da-da-da-da. It's changing the way we operate. Yeah? And it's also changing the way people socialize. Yeah? Okay. With the in crowd, Yeah. Quite a popular trend. Years and years ago, it was known as cocooning, but people like staying in. But staying in becomes a new in occasion, right? It might be food in, drinks in, music in, right? You can bring it all into your home, right? Everyone's nodding to me. That's how you, why always go out? And then I have to drive, I have to get there. And come on, let's be honest, in Lagos, the infrastructure on public transport is challenging, right? Uber's great. That's revolutionized things. But, yeah, it's really challenging for us. So we notice this is a big trend as well. And optimize, not compromise. We want both. Gone is the society that wants or. We want and. We want quality and we want to work hard, but we want life balance. Yeah? Yeah, right? You want the rewards, but you expect both. And you know what? This generation, the generations that are coming through will get it. Your parents, our parents didn't get that. We demand something different and guess what? We will get it. All right? So these are the sorts of things you've got to imagine. If you're in HR, how do these things relate to us? When we think about hiring graduates in 5, 10 years' time, how we do that, how we attract them, how we retain them, is fundamentally going to alter. Yeah? So working at home and being to bring my work in, yeah? For example. And I'm sure, look, when we stop, you can talk about thinking about what will this mean for how I operate in HR? But these are trends that are going on in our social lives that you can take in and apply to your HR thinking. But it's important. Companies have a strategy. It's important that you're looking ahead and you're innovating, be it in HR, but in my case here, I'm talking about the business and its product innovation. Okay. So that's where I wanted to be. I just have my 10 minutes buzz. So I'm going to set myself another 10 minutes and we'll be on track. Okay. Creating a culture of innovation. Again, I will think this is the more difficult thing to do because you've got the ideas, you've got the strategy, and guess what? You now have to get people to do it, which is why we're all in HR. We like that challenge, right? Otherwise, we'd be working with machines. Okay, so there are key things when you're thinking about change. Changing a culture requires elements of change. So first of all, you've got to have a process. If it's lapse and it happens this way and it's chaotic, it will be chaotic. It may be successful, but you increase the risk of it not being. Right? So we have a global process which is well governed. We have clear decision criteria where launches will go ahead or not go ahead. Do consumers like it or not? Yeah? It's not personal, it's whether consumers adore the innovations, for example. So remember to have a process. Also, your innovation remains a prototype if it cannot be scaled. Yes, if you can make one in your front room, but you can't find anyone to make it, it stays as a prototype in your front room. Okay? And I know we all like to get rich one day. Yeah, we wouldn't mind it. Okay? So you need scale. Right? So when we think about innovating, it's how can we innovate at scale? Is it affordable? Yeah, and can we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and create that same experience? Technology, I wasn't here for your IBM conversation, but technology is so, if you go onto the Azure website and you read those bits about futures, technology is the fundamental underlying transforming element of today. It may not have been 20, 30 years ago, but today, technology is a rapidly changing the environment in which we operate, and it will continue to accelerate. It will not slow down. Okay, so technology will always be a source of innovation. For us, like how things are packaged, yeah, how flavors can be reproduced in a more organic way, more natural way. All of those innovations help us innovate new products. And then it's about reporting structures, organizational effectiveness and organizational structure. Okay, if you have innovation, right, tucked away in a little department at the back of the office, yeah, it is really difficult to create a culture of belief in innovation. They need to have really good line management and sponsorship. So we have a global function. They don't report to our general managers. Okay? They're globally, they report at a higher level so they can get the investment, yeah, because then we will spin our learnings around the world. So if we invent something in Nigeria, it'll then get used around the world. Okay? Nigeria doesn't pick up all the cost of the original innovation because that will get shared around the world. Okay? It helps us to free up and innovate more. Otherwise we might get a little parochial. Okay? And we want scale. Okay? So that's a really important part. But think about here. Who does my innovation team, or where do they report? Have they got the right sponsorship to succeed? And then you need things like, if we talk, consumer insight, execution skills, some creativity, flair, and agility to move with pace when you get the right idea to beat the competition to it. I like this lady, she looks like she's got a really bad head. And when you think about innovation sometimes, it feels like it could be a headache, right? It's disruptive, yeah, it could be slow, it's difficult, everyone's got an opinion, that's why you have good governance, so you decide who your decision makers are, okay? But it doesn't have to be. And those that know me, life is about possibilities, right? So think about the possibility of the innovation and keep the dream alive. You need people, senior people in your business, around your leadership table or your boardroom that believes in the innovation agenda. Otherwise, you're going to struggle forever. Yeah, you can push up, but you need the pull from the top. So you've really got to create some advocates of innovation in your environment and in your organizations to create that possibility. So what does it take? It takes absolute determination and vision. So that's why I'm saying you need someone who's got that vision, who's got the muscle, yeah, to really be bold. Then it comes down to risk. All right, so you're sitting in your front room, you've got your prototype. Do you put all your savings into manufacturing or do you not? Right? When it's personal risk, right? But when you're in an organization, it's organizational risk. But they both exist in an organization. Because if you're successful, you have your career to consider. Do I put everything into this and what happens if it fails? So thinking about risk is really important. And also ownership. And I'm sure some of you read about founders' mentality. Yeah. If you look at lots and lots of innovations today, they come from people with individual ideas that explode, cause that innovation at scale, and they have a sense of ownership that is far greater than something that's just owned by a lot of individuals. All right, so creating that ownership. And so my the Global Marketing and Innovation Director has this model, and she believes that this is a key source of success. Okay. So we're going to talk very quickly around these three areas: responsibility, relationships, and risk. Okay? And then you get the shared risk, shared ownership. And that's what will create you the culture for success, for innovation. Responsibility, some of you might recognize this man, some may not. But if not you, who? If not now, when? So you need to find your founder of innovation, someone who's determined and bold to really champion the change and the culture. Let's look at relationships. Okay. In Diageo, we have something called a relationship model. This is our relationship model. We believe that if you have a deep understanding of the person you're building a relationship and have empathy with them, it's easier, right? If you respect the person, genuinely respect, not just pretend to respect, genuinely respect. You have only positive intent, and you are trusted, and you're trusting, and you're candor. A bit like if you were with a best friend, right? That is your innovation model. That's our relationship model, okay? And we believe if you've got those four things working together, you can create a standout relationship. And that is key when you're taking risks. Imagine if you were going to go rock climbing or something that you really don't like. Who would you take with you? Answer me. Your worst friend or your best friend? Your best friend. You take your brother that gives you a hard time or your brother that's nice to you and looks after you? You take your nice ones. So the same thing applies here. If you're going to go on the innovation journey, take your best friends with you, right? The ones that are going to partner with you to create success. Because then we get into the subject of risk. Innovation is full of risk. I think the game you played earlier talked on that risk about 1 in 10 innovations succeed. So you've got to be happy to fail 90% of the time to find that magic one, in theory, to think at those levels. What's the risk to the business? Okay, and let's have a look at that. Oh, I've lost the slide. Okay, risk to the business. Okay, for example, who would ever think Diageo would take their #1 brand, which is Johnny Walker, and sponsor Formula One with it? It seemed crazy. Even I thought when I saw it, why have we done that? But actually, those guys that drive those cars are the most responsible individuals probably in the world. You know, like if you think what they do, they're driving at amazing speeds, right? And if they talk about drinking responsibly, and they talk about zero tolerance around drink driving, it's a really good element for our brand, right? Which is why we did it. But it was a crazy risk 10 years ago when we did that. It felt really uncomfortable. So then you have development risks, okay? So again, I've just stuck with Johnny Walker. Who's drunk Johnny Walker here? Okay, right, I'm nearly done. Okay, right, so this Johnny Walker called Johnny Walker Diamond. So we take our amazing brand Johnny Walker and we create a brand like this. Very unique, yeah? So how much do you think this bottle cost? I can tell you it had a diamond in here. Wow. Right? This was how people who have got that sort of money to buy it. It seemed crazy, but it worked. By the way, over all the profit we made, we plowed back into enterprises with the Queen because it celebrated her Jubilee year. Okay. And places like this, okay? Some parts around the world, if you ever visit Shanghai, if you ever visit Mexico, for example, we took our brand into retail. We have Johnny Walker houses, right, where it's just a complete whiskey event, an occasion, an education, and a celebration of whiskey. Again, we don't do retail, right? We're brand owners, we develop for our retail trade. So this was very risky again. But these are all development risks, okay? It's about developing your brand beyond its current definition and creating power behind it. Okay. And then finally, personal risk. Okay. If you imagine tennis, yeah, you need to be stronger than the person on the other side of the net. You've got to be prepared to get on that court and play on your own. Okay. So as I said earlier, when you decide to invest all your savings in your prototype, it's a huge level of personal risk. Okay? And in organizations, don't pretend that doesn't exist too. If you've been in a business and you've made your way up to the board or a leadership team and you start backing something, you really want it to be successful, right? So remember that when you're helping people think about innovation, there is personal risk as well as development risk and corporate risk with it. So my last two slides, maybe a couple more, but my last couple of points here is to think about the mindset and the behaviors. Yeah, because unless you shift people's thinking, their actions won't change. Thinking drives actions, drives outcomes. Right? So if you think the same, you'll get the same outcome and the same actions and the same results. So you really have to go from people seeing innovation as a down, as a restrictor, to freeing. And I love this picture on the other side. So here's some of the behaviors. I don't know if you can read at the back, so I'll read it out. But for blocking, you've got syndicate ownership. You consult with everybody must be aligned, everybody has to agree before you do anything. And before you know it, your idea is being done by your competitor. Act with confidence. Be prepared to take risks. Inspire others to follow you and take risks. And focus on the outputs. Focus on the output that you're causing for the business and your consumers, and your success will come. Not just about managing your image. Okay? And that is so much easier said than done. I agree. But have it in mind. Start with yourself, and then you can think about how you start with others. So create a freedom to create an environment where it's okay to fail, right? If you'll never do innovation if you fire somebody because the innovation failed, right? No one will ever go into your innovation role again, okay? So get some common goals, ownership and accountability, and it is a road of continual learning, and it is a pathway that is untrodden, right? So it's going to be a little bit bumpy. And I heard this expression today, which really resonated with me on many, many levels. But when you think about innovation, if it feels comfortable, you're probably not innovating. Because growth is at the end of our comfort zone, right? And you can apply that to innovation, but you can apply it to your life. If you want to really stretch yourself and achieve your potential, get uncomfortable. Yeah. So that's all I had to share with you. I hope that's been helpful.
So the problem with innovation usually is the short lead time between an innovation and its imitation. And I was just wondering if you could share experiences from within your industry and how you coped with that challenge within your industry.
I think first of all, let's recognize technology lead time is even shorter. You have a much greater challenge than us in consumer goods, all right? We're a little bit slow compared to you guys. I'll recognize that. But I think what you can do is, if you think about you want to accelerate anything, you want to get owners. So first of all, make sure you have a great sponsor of the innovation, and then you have a well-trodden, you don't know what you're doing, like innovation itself is untrodden, but the process it can go through can be very practiced, right? So we have, I quickly flashed up a slide there because we don't come and talk about process tonight, but if you've got a clear process and gate meetings or decision points, etc., and everybody knows what is expected of them, they'll go quicker, right? I don't know if any of you have done that exercise where if I gave you a task to do now and set you half an hour, you'll take half an hour, right? If I said right now you're going to do it in 2 minutes, you find a way to do it in 2 minutes, right? So I think that's the mindset, yeah? And also wider our language, yeah? So the problems with innovation, no, the opportunity is to do it faster, yeah? And that really can also change the culture of a business. Does that help? So process, really known process, practice process, and ownership at the top.
Yeah, I'm wearing my teacher's glasses today. Okay, so when we talked about it, so again, innovation, if you know the answer, you throw it out, you lose the gift. They're going to be gifts. Everyone who gets the question correct gets a gift. Thanks to BSDOF. Does everybody know who BSDOF are? Yeah, okay. The makers of Evia. Okay, good. So, innovation. What is innovation? From the formula that Monica shared with us. Innovation is, Michael, so your hand go up first. Innovation is idea plus execution at the right time with an exclamation mark. Okay, great. So someone needs a round of applause. So what percentage of growth in Nigeria experiences innovation? Diageo, Guinness Nigeria. So your hand go up. Sorry. 40% for Nigeria, and then outside. Okay, thank you. All right, so she's mentioned something around creating a culture of innovation. She talked about 3 things. One is, we're a lot of us, and BSDOF were very nice, so we have gifts. So creating a culture of innovation, 3 things. 1, who wants to go? Akiolu, then Tolu, then Yewande. Okay, so let's go. Say 1. No. Culture. Creating a culture of innovation. So I tell you one, I'll come back to another 3. Common goals. Common goals. No. Say that again. Global process. No. Yeah, global structure. Say that again. Global structure. Yeah, creating a culture of innovation. So I had 3 things there. Global structure. Relax. I'm the teacher. I told
me to ask questions you don't ask. I'm the examiner, and I took my notes well. So I have organizational structure. I have two more. Do you want to say Ify?
Technology.
Okay, transforming elements of today's technology. Can we? At the back, okay.
It's a doable process.
A doable process.
Governance process.
Okay, process. Okay, all right. Yes, yes. Okay, yes. One more I have here.
Yeah. Scale.
You had answered. Now you want to take two gifts and see. She didn't give you. Can you give her? I said organizational structure. She said, yeah, give it to her. Yes, scale and pace matter. Okay, so give both of them. So thank you. See, So did you come to school or not? Okay, so three. So she said something about what it takes. When she was talking about the possibilities, there were three things, right? What does it take? I see someone signed up. Absolute determination to build a bold what? A bold what? Vision. Okay. Angela, can you? Yeah, someone needs to help you. Yes, this. Angela.
Understand the risk.
Yeah, deep understanding of the risk. Let's go to the back. So Lou, is that what I see? Yes.
Yes, cultural shared ownership.
Cultural shared ownership. Thank you very much. So Joshua, can you help her with that? We'll help her. Okay, great. So 3 hours of innovation. I have 3 hours. So she said something around one answer for the culture of success. 3 hours. If you've answered, don't answer again, please. Thank you very much.
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Somebody help that for, please. Joshua, somebody help that for me. Sorry? Risk, yes. Yes, dear. The person I'm pointing to, she's answering me. Yes? Relationship, thank you. So that's it. Okay. There's more, don't worry. Okay. So 3 types of risk she talked about. 3 types of risk. Okay? Business risk. Can I, yes? If you throw it out, I don't call you. No Diageo, ex-Diageo. Kevin, yes? Sorry? Personal risk. Okay, one more.
You want to use WhatsApp?
Monica. Okay. Sorry. Okay. What?
Development risk.
Yes, development risk. Okay,
very popular.
Talk about blocking and freeing. So again, I focus around the freeing bit of it. Who can? What do you have anything to say under that freeing? Set a couple of things under when she put the table up for blocking and freeing. Let's see. She's like, no, let me say that. Yes? She's a teacher. Afolabi? Yes? Syndicating ownership, yes, okay. Studying out the script, okay. Are they wrong, Care? Say that again. Focusing on outreach. You said that. Caleb, sorry. Sorry? Being too careful. You said another question. The opposite of that. Opposite. Tell me the opposite. I'm already giving him gift. Okay. All right. Any more under free? Yeah. You answered. They don't get it. I thought she answered before.
Attempted and failed.
Okay, that's spirit. Acting with confidence. Take your gift. Okay. And there are 2 quotes. We end with it. 2 quotes. Remember, if you miss one word, that's acquire me and again you pray that one of them doesn't get it. Acquire me, yes. Oh, sorry. At the end of your conversation. You're reading from your book. Okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Yes. Growth at the end of your comfort zone, okay? And Sir Victor.
Yeah, the road to success is always under construction.
Fantastic. Please give it up. So we're all winners now. Relax. Okay. All right. Great. Brilliant. Fantastic.
This is a certification course.
1 strong credit unit. All right. Thank you so much, Monica.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. You're amazing audience. You're amazing.
2 African countries where bear stuff is present here?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I would have thought about that. Nigeria. Okay. Mention 4 Nivea product lines. So if you want to answer, just raise your hand.
What was the mention one?
4 Nivea product lines.
You said one now.
4.
Nivea soap
Product line.
Nivea soap.
That's what I see here.
Nivea soap.
If you want to answer, can you read the soap?
Growing body cream, facial wash.
White.
The product line. Let me talk on the back that I've got to the front. Let me talk on the back that I've got to the front.
Product line.
Sorry?
What you said is product line.
I didn't hear you.
Product line. Product line. Nivea soap.
Sorry? Soap?
Soap. The body cream.
Yes.
The facial wash.
Facial wash.
Yeah. And the roll-ons.
And what?
And roll-on.
And roll-on.
Yeah.
Roll-on. Body cream. Shower gel. Baking soap.
Everybody gets it. By the way, the head of HR is sitting here. Show some love, show some love. Open your eyes for this. That's the question. We're going to move quickly. Where's the headquarters of your stuff? If you know, raise your hand and then we'll get to it. Headquarters. Okay. Where's there's stock office located in Lagos? We know you raise your hand. Tony, Alausa. All right, so we have one more session of the Connect. Just do that for 5 minutes.
I just spoke about IBM and what we do. IBM has transformed as a company from a hardware company, now we are a cognitive and cloud platform company. So we just not do typewriters anymore, or we don't do hardware or systems. Now we have diversified into things like software and artificial intelligence and cloud computing. I'm just going to give you an overview of what IBM does within the HR space. Today, organizations are rethinking strategies in order to improve their business processes, and HR cannot afford to be left behind. So that's why IBM is investing significantly into HR and into HR technologies that matter for organizations, so that you can be able to select quality individuals that can matter to your organization. IBM in the HR. So our key competency within the HR space is around talent acquisition and also employee engagement. Then right at the end, it's right in the future. Maya spoke about cognitive computing. It's all about understanding your data how you make sense of data that is in your environment, right? So under this calculation, it's how you select the best candidate to your organization. How do you hire people in your organization? How do you be able to measure whether they're going to be successful in the first day that they join your organization? So we have solutions in that particular area, and IBM has invested significantly into this HR space. Employee engagement. How do you listen actively to your employees? Do you just throw out information out of them? Do you get feedback from them in order to improve your processes and in order to be more efficient in your organization? Talent analytics. How do you understand, because today data lies in everywhere in your organization, probably from your performance management systems, or to your talent acquisition suite, or to your talent assessment. Data lies every single way in the organization. So how do you make sense out of that data? And IBM has good solutions around that particular portfolio. So I'm just going to ask Toledo here, can you give me an example of HR software solution? Sorry?
Exceed, it does, well, that's what we use in our organization.
Our organization?
Skyline.
Okay.
And so we do it for compensation and benefits mostly. We also have our HR system in it. That's our resource.
So how about you? Any example? Okay. And what do you use for? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
And that's it. Okay. So you give an example of Workday. What does Workday do? Okay. 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 So these are examples of HR solutions. HR system. These are typically your systems of record where you put in the data of the employees within the organization. Time and acquisition. So things like time management, like how, for example, you can clock the people that came in late or people that are in charge of your organization. Payroll systems. These are all legacy HR applications. But IBM does not play in this environment. These are all systems of records. So what we do is we offer talent management solutions. Solutions that can help you manage your employees and manage your workforce. So things around an applicant tracking system, how you can be able to hire people right from the point of advertising the job and also right to the point of making sure they are onboarded properly within the organization. Also things around learning management systems, how you can be able to engage people so that they can be able to rethink their strategies and be able to improve themselves. Performance management systems also is an area that IBM has solutions across. Succession planning, how you can be able to, how an individual can be able to move from one particular role to the next. For example, how leaders in the organization change roles. For example, there's staff that is in the lower band and they're improving and going step fast within the hierarchy of the system. So IBM has solutions in that space as well. And now on top of that, we have systems of insight. So what we mean by
If you can move towards it here.
An idea and analysis into your current HR environment. So things like data management, or if you want to do an assessment to find out who are your top performers within the organization. Or, for example, people that are likely to leave the organization within the next 2 to 3 years. It gives you an insight into that kind of possibilities. So I talk about Watson. So Watson is our artificial intelligence platform. It helps you understand natural language. So IBM has made significant investments into Watson. It's trained Watson to understand HR language. So for example, now you can communicate to Watson about who's my highest performer in the organization and how can I train him better to be able to be more effective. Things around employee engagement and employee voice, how you listen actively to your employees of what that particular job requires. So that, for example, if you're doing succession planning, you can be able to tell, okay, this person is moving from band 6 to band 7, and he needs so and so skills. So you can be able to equip them and also do career management and career coaching. So specifically how IBM helps HR leaders with their business imperatives. Yes. Currently, HR leaders are becoming key advisors to the business. HR are getting seat on the decision table. HR are getting a seat on the decision table, so they have a significant impact into key decision processes. IBM helps you to find and hire the right talent for your organization. We have solutions around talent acquisition solutions, talent analytics, employee engagement, personalized learning, and open HR platforms.
So it's so if you have access to us.
Just to touch upon how internally us in IBM use some of the solutions is around talent acquisition. We have it's called IBM Browsing. IBM Browsing is where jobs are posted online, and if you want to apply for a particular job, you just go on IBM Browsing and then find a particular job or skills level required. Also around leadership assessment. So for example, you want to do promotion and you want to see if a particular person has leadership abilities. So we do that also internally in IBM. Also things around social collaboration and how you can connect and share knowledge and expertise within employees and how they can be able to find help when needed. So in a nutshell, this is just an overview of the products we have within talent management portfolio. Anyone has any particular questions, happy to answer this one.
So it's managed for us.
We usually reward our early birds. Thanks to Dapo. Dapo is in the house. Dapo won the HR Manager of the Year award at the recent HR People Magazine Award. It's a graciously donated 5 books. He's also the author of a book called Management Fast Track. And so our top 5 early birds get a copy each of the book. And so read our names out. Rubemi Atimomo. Houston, yeah. Oluyemi Adeosun. We have Falayemi Balogun. Yes, we have Fidelia Sebastian. Can you just keep standing so he can give you the book? And we have Okoyemi Gaji. Yes, so 5 of them. Thank you very much. And thank you to the for okay. The next 15, in no particular order, were also our early birds, thanks to HR People Magazine. They've given us 15 copies of the HR People Magazine. Again, I have to say 1 or 2 things about this. So, the award started last year. It was the first time, and this is the second year that we've started running. I know people have said, oh, how did this organization get nominated? You have to self-nominate. I'm a judge and a couple of other people. And when I read all of the entries, because we don't even know, so I judge, I put my own scores, I submit it, as well as other judges. Ola Himoro of Suntory, Tade Onyola of IHS, a couple of other people who are judges, and all that information is on the website. You have to nominate your organization, you have to do the hard work. Hard work being, you have to write, almost like you have to do up your CV to send it in, isn't it? So you can't just sit and say, why did they pick us? They didn't pick you if you don't write. That's 1. 2, and you can self-nominate. So also sometimes you see, why are these people here? Why is this person nominated? The person nominated themselves. Yeah, so you can self-nominate, not only you can nominate yourself as HR manager or HR leader of the year. You'll be reviewed. Now, if you then nominate and just write half paragraph, you know, it's a challenge. That's 1. 2, you can also nominate and you not give it to the intern in your office to do the write-up. Some organizations sort of saw, you know, the material and thinking this is so rich, and I saw because maybe I know the individual, you know, like, oh, I know that this person, you know, then just go off on a tangent talking about something else. You know, nobody reviewed what they submitted, and just send it to them. You know, so you know, I have to say, because I sort of felt like you have to have forums. We're all shaping this profession. If you guys have done fantastic work in your organization, on recruitment, on talent management, on anything, nominate. If your CEO has really supported you, nominate the CEO. If you feel like a member of the HR community is fantastic, nominate the person. You don't have to nominate yourself. I can nominate Akinolu or Folayemi. Just nominate and say, I feel this person has done X, Y, Z in the organization to be the HR leader of the year or HR manager. This year, we didn't have a HR leader. Only 1 person nominated. And then it was not really one, you know, so we just said, look, you know what, we're running over. So the person who won last year continued to be. But if the work is not your HR director that's going to do it, from us in this room. To
to be honest with you, you're going to say, hey, you know what, review, what's your thoughts? Sometimes they're going to say, please go ahead. So it's really us who have to make this happen. For sure, if they say tomorrow, HRBP magazine, we pick XYZ person, you also want to feel like, you know, when they say this person is the HR manager, that, this person knows HR, right? Isn't it? Or HR leaders, like, I know that this is yeah. You know, so it's up to us, and I use those two as an example, but other things, employee engagement, the people also then say, how can this be the one that nominated? What have you nominated? You know, because you hear stuff like, you know, maybe public sector or pseudo-public sector, you know, say, why are they there? Did you feel for your organization? So it's again very important. We get this magazine. If nothing else, I know people are saying this more as a clown, but that's the truth. You know, we have to do the work. Tomorrow, if you say this is Grammy, it's not how they glam it up. You know, Hip Hop Magazine Awards. I remember when Hip Hop Magazine Awards started. Google HRBP Magazine Awards. You can see the website and see the information and provide feedback. That's what Said is the editor. He studied HR in uni lab, but he's not really a core HR person. He did HR for a bit. But I'm saying he's very open to feedback. He's very open to. So you guys, you know how to say it's our matter. It's really us. Are you expecting ICANN people to come and speak for us? I mean, or maybe stockbrokers. They will help us shape it. No, it's us. Okay, so Gbemi Atimomo, Roland Ogonna, please stand up. Akinolu. Yeah, so just collect your magazine. Medina Lawal, Monica Bentino, Naji, Kemi Adekeba, Adebola Jaisini, Olushola Ino, Tony Ishmael, Dolopo Egendo, Labisi Olaho, Angela Selekere, Chris Isaac, of course to Angela. I hope that you were really thinking. I don't know at some point I felt like, I don't know what time the rest is. But the first, you see, I knew that. Let me just say it now. I said that I had a personality or inspires invention. Inspires invention, right? You think so? Ding! Actually, time pressure limits originality. So it's a myth that it inspires invention. Intense time stress reduces creativity, no matter what it is that you say. That's what research has. So, next one. We can't do all, so don't think we're going to do all. You have to pay now for the training. It's just 4 hours. You know? So, in fact, the team were like, are you telling them the answers? I said, well, tell them one or two. Okay. Which one is the other one? Rewards and incentive. You have the answer. Yes. Rewards and incentive. Do you think it's counterproductive? Right? So it provides a counterproductive effect, or it ensures that it increases creativity. Which one? So once people hear that there's reward and incentive, you think that creativity is increased or counterproductive? Now you people are now not sure. HR people. Counterproductive effect of creativity is increased. All for creativity is increased. All for counterproductive effect. All for I'm sitting on the fence. What's the answer? Really? Okay. So explain. This is not about fighting. It's a half-day training. It's 70K, I think. You play the game, you get insights, you get your learner's guide. If you're over 25 people, I think you can go down to 60K or so. When you come there, you say, why? Tell you why. You can't argue or fight us. Take it. This is the answer. This is the answer. All right? Yeah. So we're less crazy when we know there's a reward for a particular smart solution. That's really realistic. The fact is not a myth. Okay. We turn to the other back of the sheet. That's the end for this one. The rest. We said it now. Sister. Okay. So I don't know if you guys are aware that there's a building in Harare in Zimbabwe that has no air conditioning. I think it's the biggest office complex in Harare, Zimbabwe. It has no air conditioning. Yeah? Military Effect is the name of the book, actually. So if you have audibles on your phone, you can download the book for £2.99, or if you wait for 30 days, you can get it for free. So, intersectional innovation. So what the guy did, apparently he was trying to build this building in Harare with no air conditioning. And do you know where he got his insight from? His inspiration. You know those ants when we're growing up, you want to kill the anthill, and like, you know, they say, the queen, you're right here, this anthill. Yeah. So he got his inspiration from the anthill. Apparently there's only one constant temperature in the ants hill. Castle, palace. Exactly. Some of them become even like whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So what he did in terms of the event, do you want to explain the concept to us, Mr. Joshua? Stand and explain it from there.
Okay, so what he did was using the angles, leveraging the idea of the angles of the castle of the termites. We built this hotel. So you can see there is office complex rather. So there is a lot of clay underneath as part of the foundation, and you ensure that all the angles and all of that are lined properly, saving $4 million and 90%.
Anybody sweating?
So yes, the temperature in the building remains at 24 degrees centigrade. So again, I don't know if you know that in Zambia, Zimbabwe is towards Canada because it was cold. So it gets cool, yes, it gets cold. They have winter. So that whole concept of it takes hot air in and then it releases cool air. So Nigeria, I don't know, but they did it in Australia, Southern countries, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Australia. What's the? And they're on the other side of the world. It's like, yeah. So again, so that's for the fact that the concept, yes, the climate also plays with usual. So let's ask you in terms of assumption reversal. Quick one. Assuming someone said they're going to set up a restaurant. This is behind the sheet we gave to you. Can you imagine a restaurant that has no menu? So I think sometimes also, a lot of times, and what happens in the organization, what's P&G doing? What's Etel doing? What's the Salad doing? Who is your competitor? Who will you say your competitor? Shakra.
No, we don't have one, we have a lot. So say Microsoft, one aspect. Software.
Shakra, when they're building. So yeah, Chakra, yeah. You know, Microsoft. You know, most times when even our leaders are asking us what is it? When I was HR director at Reckitt, what's whenever doing anything, what's PMG doing? What's we copy PMG? You know, I think a lot of leaders also want to know that what's the other person doing. But a lot of times that also limits originality and innovation. So if we're to assume, for instance, that all restaurants have menus, all restaurants charge money for food, isn't it? And all restaurants sell food. And we want to use assumption reversal, which I'm also encouraging us to sort of do when you get back to your offices. What if the restaurant doesn't have menus? What will happen? They didn't have. Just come up with those ideas. Tell me. The restaurant doesn't have menus. What will they do? Yes? They will what? Buffet. Pre-order. Okay. Buffet. Just come and eat in. Okay. Yes. Any other yes? Okay. Possible. Restaurant doesn't have menus. Customize your meals. So again, somebody said the chef can come and say, today I have a wedu, I have okra, and I have some yam, and I have plantain. Tell me what you want. You can say, give me yam with okra and something. Okay, so your own order. Give me a wedu with something, you know. So there's no menu, but it just sort of tells you what it is, right? But that's something to sort of process. What if the restaurant doesn't charge money for
Wash plates.
Relax. Wash plates.
Every day.
Wash plates for make the food yourself. Exchange the food. Bring your ingredients. See, we're getting sick. Yes, we say something. I said buy credit on your phone. Buy credit on your phone. And then, okay, so you credit for food, okay, I will give you MTN $15,000. Loyalty, you know, yes, bring your own food, right? Somebody at them said, what, they don't charge money for food, bring your food. They charge for space, they don't charge for food. So like, you stop somewhere, you know, bring skylight, we just charge you per square meter, right? And you bring your food. But again, it has to give us ideas. But they're saying, restaurant, can I not charge? You can't restaurant down. No. Relax, take a deep breath, and figure out, are you going to, you know, like assumption reversal, what would you do if you had to reverse it? Because that way also you start to process differently. Did you know that the roll-on was inspired by the ballpoint pen? So the ballpoint pen, someone was like, you know how you smooth and you write it, like, oh, this thing, you know, we spray. I can't remember that in secondary school. This is a white show everywhere, you know. And like, you know, how about something that rolls and just controls the liquid and come out? Yeah. So that inspired it. So again, don't think that some of these things, you might go and ask me, tie and camera. Maybe something, there's something there, who knows? Yes? Restaurants do not serve food. They serve drink. Would it be a restaurant? Bring your food, maybe.
Like an art gallery, like a gallery of foods, and you just look at the food.
Select and pay. They don't sell, you make the food yourself. They teach you how to make the food someone serve, but they don't serve it. Yes, they give you what? They give you ideas. You know what, you can do this when you get home. So coming for the class, just try and teach you. But the class is next door, you just have to move there and make your food. And see, you're the one that's challenging the assumption. So you can say, from the makers of the roll-on, the box one is inspired. So I think what's important is in your industry, on your role in your organization, how can you reverse assumptions? So these are things we do. This is how we do it here. We don't change this. This is how it is. What if it doesn't happen? What if you don't sell? We're telling you know when you get to the airport, they don't let you take bottles in. And we're just talking with a client and we're saying, what if you make, you know how CAC 1000 used to drop, you know, those Calci 1000 you drop, effervescent tablet. What if the drinks were like, you know what, you can't let me take, I can buy water inside, okay, no problem, I take my effervescent drink and then just drop it. So it was Coke and yeah, you actually like Coke or Fanta, make it in tablet form, so we get there and I drink it, wherever instead of carrying liquid. That's an example. Or your industry, I don't know if it's scratch card or if it's oil or if it's the service. I mean, what else? What can we do? Challenge your assumption. I think that's your take-home assignment. Challenge the assumption in terms of what your business does. If it's banking, what else? If it's infrastructure, what else? If it's real estate, if it's not even, if it's intangible, what else? What do you challenge? You have to go to clients. You have to send the client a job. The client must sign the job agreement letter before we do the work. What if we don't do that? Might there be another way that we can sign a great contract? Jonathan, what else? Challenge the assumption. The people might say, I don't know, maybe we can do A, B, C. No one is too young. Sometimes they can say, bring all the graduates ready, they have the fresh brain. No. Or bring the older people in the organization that wants to be here longer. No. Just do not, just bring people in and just challenge the assumption. And find out you might be amazed what you guys will come up with in terms of how to innovate and to do things differently. Yes? All right, so we're not joking. This is really something that you want to explain. You're not paid. This restaurant, you won't pay. Who's that?
And you are not paid.
There's no food in the class. It's really tangible food. We thank you all for your patience. I can see that it's almost 9, but no one is really shuffling. Don't say what? Yes, it's 25, 8. I should have told you the time. You like innovative things, so you're sort of like getting into it. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you all next quarter. Honestly, if you feel like you can give us space, or you can give us, like today, Beers of Day really sponsored, but then I don't know how to say Anchor, there's the gold sponsor, and there's the headline sponsor, supporting sponsor, and that happens because we have Diageo in the room, we have Beers of, we have IBM. Just let us know, because it's also, you guys are the budget, or you are least you know what is the budget. It can't be that hard. Exercise your capacity to be a leader. This leadership capability that you're building, you're tomorrow HR leader. How are you going to get there? If you're not able to negotiate and say this is the value I'm seeing in this thing, and so let's make a case, not hard, not there. When you become a HR director, you'll be like, not there. So seriously, so I know even though this is to our benefit, this is a really, really advice. Thank you very much. See you all next quarter.